Hey guys, it's Val, your go-to gal for everything health, fitness, diet, and happy living. I thought today, since I was making this for dinner anyway, I'd like to make a nice, light Italian meal on hot afternoons like this. So I'm going to make Instapot turkey meatballs with sauce. It's so quick, it's so easy, and if you've never made a meatball before, it's so simple. Okay, so I'm using Koch's turkey. It's organic. I get it from Whole Foods. So what we do, move this over so you can see. Take it out of the package. Okay, and dump it right in the bowl. Looks like brains, doesn't it? Anyway, science teacher in me. I can't help myself. And I add an egg. First step to doing this, though, exactly, is wash your hands thoroughly. Okay, because they're going to be sopped in goop pretty soon. There's a variety of things I like to put in my meatballs. I do use organic breadcrumbs. I also use gluten-free breadcrumbs. I mix them up. And I also add golden flaxseed meal. It makes them moist. It makes them stick together better. So let's start. Then I use coconut milk because I don't usually eat all that much dairy, maybe except for yogurt. So we put a little of that in too. And then seasoning. Now normally I don't put basil and oregano in my meatballs, but I'm very low on parsley. This is parsley. I'm just going to dump the whole thing in. I'm pretty much done. I mean, it's Italian meal, so basil and oregano goes great. And it's a great substitute. Okay? It gives it a nice flavor. Very nice flavor. All right. That should be plenty, I think. Now, oh, and can't forget the garlic powder. This is something I eyeball. I really don't do this to taste. It's quick, it's easy, and that should be plenty. I usually also put in Parm cheese, but my husband's not home, and his job is to grate it, so we're not putting that much in. He'll have to do that when he gets home. But that's good. All right. Gives it some more Italiano flavor. So, when you're married to an Italian man, that's how you have to cook. Now, believe it or not, I've gotten him to eat these meatballs, and he is a strict red meat carnivore, but he likes these. So this is also a trial and error thing when you're doing the breadcrumbs. You don't want them too dry. You don't want them too sticky either. There's a certain consistency you want to get, so they no longer stick to your hands, but now, if you notice, I'm leaving everything open because in 2 seconds, my hands are going to be filthy. All right, so that's nice flaxseed meal. This is red mill organic gold flax meal. And then we mix, all right? Just mix. Get in there with the hands. I always tell you, good chefs use their hands. Of course, if I was in a restaurant, I'd have gloves on, but I'm not. So, I'm going to mix these good. Okay, now I can tell already this needs more breadcrumbs. Way too loosey-goosey here. Way too loosey-goosey. Like that term? Loosey-goosey. I have no idea where the hell that came from. So let's do a little more reg. I just go around a little more gluten-free. I try to cut the gluten out a little bit. And a little more flax. Try not to get everything filthy in my lovely hands. And you're going to feel the consistency change. Now, I know people like meatier meatballs. I was raised on more breadier meatballs. Probably because, you know, meat was expensive. Meat's even more expensive than it ever was. So, I think as a kid, I ate more bread than I did meat. How I got out of that house thin, I don't know. We're almost there already. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, let's put a little bit more in there. Just a tiny bit. Now, using turkey instead of red meat cuts out so much fat, but you're still getting all that great protein, okay? I use a blend. This is dark and white meat. I find that just pure white meat turkey is just too dry, and it doesn't stick together well. So, this is pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll leave them at that. Actually, put in a little bit more of this. Again, it's a feel thing. It's a feel thing. And you'll know it when they're there. But I'm going to show you. I should have Italian music playing. Why don't I? Okay, I think that's good. Now we make the balls. So I don't like huge meatballs. I make them like medium. My mother used to make gigantic, like soft balls, and to me that was just a little overkill. So we're gonna go tinier. And you can press them down. All right, then you just roll them around. All right, and there we go. I don't think I'll maybe be able to shut this video on and get to the next part because my hands are filthy. I'll figure it out. There we go. So this makes a lot too. If it's just a couple of you eating, I mean, this easily serves 4 or more. But if it's just a couple, I mean, you can get lunches out of this. And I'm going to show you the other trick that I do when I serve this. My husband's not a big fan, but so he gets pasta, regular pasta. He's a construction worker, so he's always hungry. I gotta feed him. Gotta feed him. A little too big. Okay. There we go. You kind of want to make them all the same size so they cook evenly. All right, they're actually going to cook in the sauce. And yes, I don't normally, but I'm using jarred sauce because it's a quickie weeknight thing. You have to be careful with jarred sauce. Make sure you know what it is you're buying. Read labels. Majority of commercial sauce that you find in a supermarket is loaded with sodium. Loaded. I use low sodium marinara, which doesn't matter because everything's so flavorful, especially with the meatballs, that you're not even going to miss the salt. I don't even salt my meatballs. A lot of people do. You'd be surprised at how much cooking you can actually do without salt. And nobody ever knows the difference. That's one of the reasons, too, I always say, don't eat packaged food. It's loaded with it. You know what kills me, too, is these meal plans where you can order meals. The sodium is out of hand. And if you know, as we get older in age, a lot of sodium can really rack up the blood pressure, which you don't do or want, right? It's a silent killer, guys. So watch your blood pressure. Watch the salt intake. Granted, in this hot weather of the summer, if you're sweating, you're perspiring, a little extra salt isn't a bad thing because you probably need to replace it. That and potassium, because when you sweat, you lose all that. And that's how Gatorade became famous, because that's what it replaces. All right, now, which I don't like Gatorade. Isogenics makes a far better product. They have one called Amped and one called Hydrate. And no sugar, it's fabulous for hydrating. After a good workout, after working, any place where you're really perspiring, okay? By the way, guys, things like Gatorade and other not energy drinks, but drinks like that, probably not really good unless you're really sweating. So you shouldn't be drinking them on a regular, all right? Because you can throw that whole balance out of whack. All right, so the balls are done. I'll wipe my hands. And we are on our way to step 2. Be right back. Okay, so time for the Instapot. Gal's best friend. So it calls for, what they want us to do is put it on saute, on high, all right? If I put it on low, it doesn't seem to do much. A couple tablespoons of organic olive oil. You want something that's called first cold press, okay? The better your olive oil, the better your food's going to be, okay? Very important. I prefer extra virgin myself. So we're gonna let that heat up. We're gonna brown those bowls. Now, I also like to use, I don't use wooden spoons. I used to years ago and realized they contain so much bacteria and you really can't wash them. So anything with like a Teflon or a coating on them is much better than using wood, okay? You can't really clean wood. Wood is porous. All right, so I'm gonna put them in. I'm gonna put the little bowls in here. Wait for that oil to heat up. Now I place them all around the edge because the Instant Pot is kind of convex in the middle, so the oil settles out to the sides. So it's just enough to get them in there. They say don't let them touch, but they can touch all they want, as long as they don't get stuck together. All right. So and we're just going to heat this up. Shouldn't take long. We're just browning them. You're not cooking them through. All right. We're also going to use some low sodium chicken broth. Okay. We're going to use that to deglaze the pot. Deglazing is basically getting up all the bits and everything off the bottom. A lot of people use wine. You can use wine to do that also, but why waste a good red wine? Drink it. Don't put it in food. I'm just kidding. And then I've yet to find an organic jarred tomato sauce that's low sodium. I think I'm going to have to create one. But I do like the taste of this. It's a San Marzano tomatoes. It's a low sodium marinara. It's made by Silver Palette, which is an excellent brand. And like I said, unfortunately, I have yet to find that organic one. But it's got to be out there somewhere. But anyway, it's not bad. San Marzano tomatoes are delicious. I like to use them in my own sauce. So we're just heating up here. Okay, I'm going to heat them all up. Oop, I can hear them sizzling now. It's starting. Okay. So that's all you do. You just keep turning them, keep rotating. You don't want to burn them on one side, and you're just browning them. You're just browning. Okay, you'll see them change color. All right, once they're browned on a side, here it goes. All right, like I said, you don't want to leave them in one spot. You've got to keep them moving. All right, I don't know if you can see that, but that's browned on top. All right, so you want to keep them moving. And this recipe is almost done. It's just a matter of adding everything. Like I said, it's a great weeknight meal. I'm going to show you what else I do with it. For those who want veggies, and I always want veggies. Always, always, always. So I'm going to show you what I do with this. And you'll be able to do it at home, but you need a tool, which I'm sure you can buy at Amazon, anywhere. I'll show you that next. But I'm going to get all this together. All right, so we got some browning to do. All righty. So these balls are now browned. All right, not too crazy, just enough to brown the outside. They're going to cook in the inside. So next what we want to do is organic low sodium. I'm going to deglaze this thing. About half a cup. I realize a lot of cooking is feel and smell and obviously taste. Okay, we're going to get the glaze off that pot and we're going to scrape up all the bits. That's what this is for. Okay. We'll get that turkey right into the sauce, which is nice. All right. Okay. Scrape the bits from that. All right. So now what we're going to do, that's pretty good. I wish you could see in the pot, but I'm afraid it'll steam up my camera. So now I'm going to put, this recipe calls for 1 jar. I don't find it's enough, especially if you like sauce on your pasta, whatever you're having with it. So once that's done, once you deglaze the pot, now I'm going to pour this in. I'm going to do 2 jars of the San Marzano by Silver Palette. I better be getting sponsored for these, considering all the name dropping I'm doing. And that's that. Okay. Now we're going to I'm going to mix it. I'm going to bring it to a boil. Okay. We're still on saute. All right. I'm going to mix this. We're going to bring it to a boil. Just mix it up a little bit. Get all those tasty morsels off the bottom. Okay. So it shouldn't take long to boil. It's already high heat. All right. Put this down here. And next I'm going to show you how to make zucchini zoodles. I call them zoodles, but zucchini noodles at home. You do need a tool for it. You can find them anywhere. I have a simple one, but they make some really intricate ones. But my kitchen cabinets are full of gadgets, so I can't really buy anything else. So it's already starting to boil. So we're going to bring that to a boil. Then the balls are going to go back in, and we're done. We are done. All right? So we're going to put them back in. They want them in a single layer again, which isn't hard considering how much sauce I added. You can spice up the sauce too if you want. Sometimes I put oregano and basil in it, maybe a little garlic in it. This, with the meatballs though, it really doesn't need it. And then of course you throw a little parm on there and it's just absolutely delightful. Okay. Alright, we're almost there. Almost to the boil. Almost to the boil. Now, like like I said, this recipe takes less than a half an hour to put together. Not even. I mean, if you have everything prepared and cut, and it's so simple. The Instant Pot is a lifesaver, I have to say. I mean, working and then coming home and having to do dinner. I love the Instant Pot. I love the slow cooker for the winter. I can leave stuff on low all day long, and it's all ready when you get home. Just got to add your veggies and your sides and whatever else you want. Okay, we're almost boiling. Almost boiling. Come on, baby. I think I will throw a little spice in it. Why not? Just a little. I'm gonna just take some Italian seasoning, throw it in. Nothing crazy. This is all Italian seasoning mixed together. Oregano, basil. Forgot what else is in here. Margarine, rosemary. Lots of stuff. We'll just spice it up a little bit. You know what's good too? If you put a little hint of cayenne. But I'm not going to do that today. Alright, so we are definitely at the boil. So now, these guys are going to go back in. Yes, once again, I'm using my hands, but I washed them. Okay, here they go. In they go. Yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. Have any idea how much fat you've cut out? Oh, and by the way, I always put them on a paper towel when I take them out also, just to get off excess oil that you don't need. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to turn off the saute setting. And so that, now, all that's left to do, believe it or not, is we're going to put the lid on high pressure for 5 minutes. If I can find my lid. Okay. Since we're pressure cooking, you don't want venting, okay? You don't want to be vented. It has to be switched from venting to non-venting, all right? Then you're going to put on pressure cook, high, 5 minutes, and away you go. Zucchini noodles coming up next. Okay, time for zoodles. This is organic zucchini, and I have this little contraption, which I'm sure you can buy them anywhere. Top comes off, okay? You stick it into the end of this so you don't grate your fingers, which I've done many a time. First, when it's long enough, you can use either side too. I think the other one make wider ones, and you just twist. Then when you get down to the bottom, you can hold on to that holder, or else you're going to grate your fingers. It just doesn't feel all that good. All right. So the meatballs are in. They're cooking now. You're going to let them self-release when the time is done, when the 5 minutes is up, and it takes like 10 minutes to self-release. But you can just leave it on warm until you're ready for it. The way I make zoodles is I steam them. Don't put them in boiling water, they turn soggy. So don't steam them too long either, or you'll get mush. Okay, this is a delicate balance. Maybe a minute or two, if that much. You know what? I'm sorry, it's easier without that thing. All right. So you can do this at home. There's no reason to pay for these pre-packaged stuff. I bought frozen. It's absolutely horrible. I bought it in stores. Didn't like that either. Look, you can get a cute little curly Q like that, which I don't really want, but that's okay. It's adorable. So yeah. So like I said, you're gonna cook this. You're gonna steam it. Use this now. Now I'm getting down to the nitty gritty. We don't want to waste any. Okay, just keep twisting. Twist and twist. And you get beautiful zucchini noodles. All right? And taste absolutely delicious with these meatballs. So I hope you try it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I'm going to enjoy it for dinner. And I don't know. Like, share, subscribe. Good to see you guys again. Love you. Enjoy your dinner.